everybody. I'm Divankar from the National Council of Professionals back in Colombo, Sri Lanka. And with me today is Aubrey Joachim. And Aubrey is somebody who reached the pinnacle of his chosen profession in an organization we all know of back in Sri Lanka, Australia and all over the world. That's the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, commonly known as CIMA, and Aubrey was the former global president of CIMA and the first non-British, non-Irish global president. Welcome to our program, Aubrey.
Thank you, Divankar, and thank you for that introduction. Yes, I mean the whole world knows CIMA, and as you can well imagine, it was a great honor for me not only to be the first non-UK Irish president, but also the first Asian and a Sri Lankan for that matter. I mean, I'm Australian, of course, but it was a pride and honor to come from a Sri Lankan background and origin. That's where I studied. That's where I grew up. That's the country that made me who I am, and therefore it was an extreme honor to be chosen to that.
I would say so. And we're talking CIMA with about membership of probably 700,000.
Exactly. Between the CIMA and the AICPA now we are joined, it's the largest global accounting body in the world.
And you did interest in what's happening back in Sri Lanka?
Of course, I think every Sri Lankan anywhere in the world takes a deep interest in what is happening back home. I mean, you can't take away the motherland from your heart, and your motherland in your heart, irrespective of whether you become an Australian or British or an American or whatever. You still, and I know a few days ago, Bill Forbes, the famous musician, singer, died in Britain, but he rather always, recognized his Sri Lankan roots, and that's what we do, and that's why we are also interested in what's happening back then.
And what do you see when you look back at the situation back in Sri Lanka?
Well, the situation at this point in time is not the best, right? And Sri Lanka has had huge and tremendous opportunities to be at a place much higher than where it should be now. Now, it's pointless going back and blaming various people for what has happened, but it has happened. And collectively, all of Sri Lanka and every Sri Lankan has to take some responsibility for what has happened. Right? The leaders they choose, the path they want the country to go, how much involvement they play in sort of driving the future of their motherland. Right? Why are so many Sri Lankans outside? Why are they doing so well in other places? And at this juncture, I see a number of very, very high-profile professionals, right? And I would call it a brain drain at this point in time. Sri Lanka is looking to move on. That's a tremendous loss. And those are the things that have happened. And that's what needs to be said at this point.
And with CIMA, I think there's quite thousands and thousands in Sri Lanka, in Australia, worldwide, with, and holding top positions, isn't it, Aubrey?
Yes.
And many would recognize you.
I'm sure they would, and I hope they take something from what I have to say. In fact, there are more CIMA Sri Lankans overseas than in Sri Lanka.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Right. Sri Lanka is called the nursery of CIMA. Next to the UK, the highest Sri Lanka, and the many outside and, like you say, doing positions. they've been doing back home in the country. And I'm sure they're all still wanting to do something to help the country, to give a boost to it, to contribute what they can.
Yes.
And that's where I suppose the country must recognize and acknowledge that fact and draw upon such skills and competencies in whatever way. And I'm not talking only of CIMA accountants, there are doctors, there are lawyers, there are engineers,
Yeah.
and there are so many others like that.
So how can we put this right, Aubrey?
Well, at this point in time, I'm sure we all recognize that the country is facing some very serious economic, hurdles, should I put it,
Yes.
right? And therefore, putting on my management accounting hat on, and I would give advice to any other organization, you have to look at two things.
Yes.
Fundamentally, you have to look at your balance sheet, and then you have to look at your P&L. Our balance sheet is in the dire straits. Our foreign exchange reserves are extremely low. I don't think it's been at this level, before. So the first thing is that is clear, and there'll be a number of, brains giving suggestions as to how this could be. Okay, go to the IMF, go to this country, that country, whatever. Fundamentally, you have to restructure that debt position of yours on the balance sheet to make the organization, the country stable in that respect. Once that is done, then you can start building on from that point. So I'm not going to give advice to anyone as to what to do. There are so many people have given various views on how that can be settled. Okay? Go to any place, get the money, restructure your loans. Tell the people, at this point in time, they're repaying debt instead of doing to people. Is that the right thing to do? Well, it's up to them to judge. But having done that, then, how do you set the country on a path that will take them up a trajectory of development,
Continuous
development? And that's where the next aspect comes. You work on your P&L, right? You improve your top line as a company, and therefore we have to attract the investments. We have to develop. We have so much talent. Sri Lanka is, from a last review I looked at, possibly the 10th or 11th most sought after BPO destination in the world. Why don't we capitalize on that? And talking of CIMA accounts, we have all of that who can contribute significantly to that endeavor, right? So that can be done. Then you get your productivity up, get the masses enthused to improving their outputs, etc. On the other hand, we have to look at our cost line as well. We have to be more frugal and cost conscious. At this point in time, I'm sure everyone recognizes that the cost of administration, the political levels, the levels of governance are too many. And all that costs money. So we have to live according to our means, right? We have to live according to what we can afford. Do not overdo it. So those are the two things I would think. Attend to this balance sheet first, and then work on trying to get your P&L and your other revenue streams up. And then the country has to remember our people are our strength. That's the goal in mind we are sitting on. We are sitting on that.
And I'm sure you would say that future politicians or those in the opposition should be more
open to this idea
and more on the management,
Correct.
having a management mindset.
Correct. Yes. You need people with that sort of background to lead, right? So whoever the leaders, the political leaders who are looking to come forward must recognize this and get people of that caliber to run their agencies, to be the permanent secretaries of various ministries and whatever, people who have that ability and that capability, right, to do that. That's what should be done. We also need leaders who have a global perspective,
Yes.
leaders who have been outside the country, worked or studied or whatever, who recognize what's happening in other places.
Yes.
Right? Merely just going on a temporary visit here and there sometimes doesn't bring all that out.
Yeah.
You have had to live and experience that, and
Yeah.
that's the type of leadership we want. So, I mean, I'm an apolitical person,
Yes.
right? I'm not, pointing in one way or the other. I'm just looking at the best interest of the country and the people. And the most important message is that the people must recognize it. I mean, that's what we see happening in well-established and mature democracy.
Okay. Thank you very much, Aubrey, for
You're
your
welcome.
time and this interesting conversation. And maybe we'll head off for some coffee or hot chocolate now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.